Hello, dear viewers. Thank you for joining me for your daily tarot reading. I always ask you to choose the stone that draws you, the one that matches with your intuition, and we will begin. All right. For those of you who chose the pink stone, we have the Six of Cups, the Sun, and the Ten of Wands. All right. Well, the sun is joy. A lot of times it might be a moment of happiness. It may be enjoying the sunshine. It may be feeling a little bit childlike and trusting that spirit has you, that the universe has you. But that's a terrific moment. It's a terrific feeling. Because for some reason you felt a little overburdened. Maybe you're just really on the edge of unburdening yourself. That Ten of Wands is, sometimes it's carrying our to-do list in our heads. It's thinking of all the things that are important to us, that are priorities and goals, and just feeling a little weighted down by them all. Sometimes we need to sort of look inside and take everything just a little less seriously. Yeah, like let in a more childlike, here we go, we have childlike again, childlike attitude. Is all that really such a big deal? Must we make sure this, and this, and this happens? Maybe just looking at it square in the eye and saying, how would my younger self have thought about all this? Would they have thought this stuff was that serious? I mean, must all this happen? Must it happen today? Must it happen right now? We can only do one thing at a time. So sometimes this is, joy can come in when we kind of really do look at what we're carrying around in our subconscious. Maybe way too many things. Because frankly, we can only do one thing at a time. This might be an encouragement to remember how you were when you were a child and more fully engaged in each thing that you were doing at the moment. And you had so much more energy. And that wasn't only about childhood. That was also about a clear focus. Well, when we're kids, we don't have to worry about bills. We don't have to worry about all those things. So it's easier. But really, do we have to worry about those things now? Do we have to worry about all those things? So I think this reading brings in some joy and some nostalgia, and maybe will help you to disconnect from carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Because, this person is strong. This person's not dropping any of his priorities. He's going to bring them all home. You can count on that. So one thing at a time, and doing that wholeheartedly as if you have nothing else on your to-do list. And then after you're done with that one thing, maybe then, what's the next thing that draws me? Turn those wands, that energy of those wands into something that draws you, that actually interests you, brings enthusiasm. But we can't have enthusiasm for them when we're taking them all at once. So that could really be the meaning of the reading for many of you. For some of you, this joyfulness does come in because maybe there's somebody that you've known for a very long time that you talk to that brings good memories, or maybe you are just having some really nice memories. Time spent with someone you really cared about. Yeah, so that can be too. That can be too. This is pleasant nostalgia. This is pleasant emotion. Yeah. And this guy, well, just in one more step, he could lay all those down and take one at a time. Yes. So I hope you have a wonderful day. For those of you who chose the smoky clear stone, we have the Eight of Swords, the Five of Wands, the Page of Cups. All right, these are minor arcana, so this could really be passing things. The Eight of Swords is a lot of times about our thoughts. It's feeling trapped, but it's because of sometimes it is because of challenging circumstances, yes. And we have to have plans. There's a plan for each of these, how to remove each of these barriers. So sometimes it is challenging circumstances and we feel a little bit trapped because we feel like we can only take care of one plan at a time. There are many steps. Maybe we're being very temperate and wise, and we're only going to make a change where we feel a little freer and more unburdened. We're only going to make it in a wise, stepwise way. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. The Eight of Swords, though, sometimes we forget that this is our choice and we feel like we're trapped. And the Eight of Swords reminds us, no, you know, these are thoughts, these are plans. You're being temperate. You will walk forward. You will walk out of this feeling. For some of you, this Eight of Swords, those aren't so much plans that have to be accomplished or steps that have to be taken. These are beliefs that you have that are just simply not true. You know, this woman, she can pull down her blindfold and wiggle out of those ties, and she'll see she's not trapped in anything. Those swords don't encircle her, though they don't keep her in. She can just walk right out. So sometimes there are thoughts that do limit us. Completely understandable, but not correct, but inaccurate, you know? So sometimes this is an encouragement to look at the way you're thinking about something. You may not be trapped at all in something. You may have made choices, which then you can be okay with. Yep, I've got a good plan. I'm okay with those choices. But this can dissipate in a minute. They can just dissipate. That feeling can just go as soon as you start moving forward, doing something, considering something, you pull the blindfold down, you see it. The Five of Wands. So for some of you, you may feel a little trapped because there's conflict around you. Maybe that is, you know, and it's not deadly conflict. You know, those are not swords. Those are wands. It's, you know, people who are working together, maybe they have different priorities, different ways of looking at things. They want to do different things, but they're trying to accomplish something together. Somehow their fates are tied with each other's. So that could be leading to a sense of feeling trapped. However, you've chosen probably the situation that you're in, and probably for really good reason. And this is very transient. Fives are transient. That can dissipate. The Page of Cups is good news coming in. So really, I think that you're probably listening to this reading because it's time for Spirit wants to bring you some good news. Spirit wants to bring you a much more positive message. And the Page of Cups, you know, that little fish, he whispers in that page's ear good ideas. You know, hey, let's do this, let's do that. The Page of Cups follows his emotion. He lets himself have fun. He lets himself believe good things. In fact, that's his bent. So, you know, there's some of that too, where that can be kind of wanting to come in, some good news. Spirit wants to bring some good news to you to make you feel a lot freer and a lot more hopeful and be able to rediscover some joy today. So these are great cards. They are great cards. Yes, I see a change coming. All right. For those of you who chose the gray stone with this sort of deep purple spot, it is an agate. It's very interesting. We have the Death card in the middle. Oh, but with the High Priestess. And oh my gosh, you've got three big ones. Three powerful major arcana. Do not worry about the Death card, okay? That's an ending, but it doesn't, very rarely does it mean actual literal death. Really, this is about an end to some sort of struggle, I feel. I feel like this is, the Death card to me is sort of one of acceptance. It's one that says, I know deep in my gut that something is done. I am done with it. And it's an end. It's like, it's a good idea to accept being done with it because it's time to be done with it. It's like that kind of thing. Sometimes it's a real acceptance. It's a real, oh, you know, I feel strong. I feel intuitively like this is right. I feel there's an end here to some pattern of mine or something in my life. It can be anything. I mean, where you live, where you work. It can be a relationship or friendship. It can be how you've chosen to view something. that really has not served you well. It's sort of a knowing that you're done with something that, yes, it can bring great relief. And especially with this Strength card, we have the Lion. There's a lot of strength that you have. You have a gentle strength. You have a strength in knowing. You have a spiritual strength with this High Priestess. Whatever it is you're going through, whatever transition it is you're entertaining, actually not entertaining, coming to acceptance of, know that your wisdom is deep right now. Your strength is actually divine. You are plugged in. You are not misreading things. You are, the emotional tenor of this is rooted in perhaps spirituality or strength. You've got the strength to be okay with being done with something. Yeah, so that's really good. And the thing you're done with, I just feel like this does not feel like a negative reading to me, because you've got this divine protection and strength over you, and you've got this deep internal wisdom and intuition coming up from underneath and filling you. So I can't see this as a negative thing at all. I feel like you may be coming into a time of greater acceptance, peace, and freedom. The High Priestess is true to what she knows, and even if others could not understand it, or she would even have trouble putting it in words. See, the High Priestess doesn't speak with her lips. She speaks with her spirit. She knows, though. She knows. So you may feel very strong about something. You know that there's an end to something, and you're not. And I feel like this could be very well be of joyous end as well. Like, oh, I am so glad. I do not feel like I should worry about this thing anymore. I really feel like this is done. And you're right. So those are amazing cards. I hope you have a wonderful day and week, and well, this can be more than that with those 3 major arcana. For those of you who chose this light blue stone, we have the Lover's card, we have the Hanged Man, we have the 6 of Wands. All right, so the Lover's card, wow, 2 major arcana here. If your love life is on your mind, whether that's your potential love life or your actual love life, it seems that you're seeing things from a new perspective. Maybe there's been a delay, and that's okay, because that Hanged Man, when that Hanged Man accepts there's a delay, there can be, so much learned. Can really see things from a different perspective. It turns out to be a useful delay. So there's love there for you, absolutely. If you're in a relationship now, this may mean more love is coming in, perhaps because of a delay in some situation and seeing things from a new perspective, perhaps. For some of you, you've had your trials when it comes to your love life. There's the 6 of Swords, like you've learned a lot along the way, and they haven't always been easy lessons for sure, but they are lessons, knowledge, experience that you're then able to turn into a life on the better shore, a better life on the opposite shore, moving into calmer waters. So that's a good thing. So for some of you, the Lover's card isn't necessarily about your love life, but about a spiritual love that's there for you. These 2 are in the Garden of Eden, and they have the angel lovingly guarding them and protecting them. So that can be a spiritual kind of love that is over you right now as well. And like spirit understanding that there may be something difficult with some sort of delay. There might be something that's been difficult, but you're being nurtured, you're being healed, you're being shown, you're being enlightened, you're being enlightened about a new way to look at this, a new way to look at the future. These are all quite positive cards, all of them very positive cards. This one tells me maybe it hasn't felt real positive in the past here, but these are moving into really positive territory, and they are major arcana. So I hope you have a wonderful day. You take care, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.